Full time from St James's Park. Newcastle United 1, Fulham 1. And if you're a Fulham fan watching this right now, you have well and truly been robbed of all 3 points this evening. We, as a Newcastle fan, were absolutely shocking throughout the whole game. Honestly, that's the worst I've seen we play. And this is the type of game where we had to win it. This was a must-win game for Steve Bruce and his future. Leeds was absolutely abysmal, and tonight I've seen nothing more of an improvement. I've seen absolutely nothing. And how Fulham have come away from St James's Park with only a point, I feel so bad for them because we deserved nothing in that game. We really didn't. We didn't test the Fulham goalkeeper anywhere near enough, and Fulham had enough chances in that match to have went away with all 3 points. And again, it's the same old story. Sitting back and doing nothing and just allowing Fulham, the opposition, to pressure us. And that was the same rhythm throughout the whole game. And the only reason why we got an equaliser in that game was because we got a controversial penalty, which, in my opinion, it looked very borderline. Looking back at it, was it really a penalty? Looking back at it, if it's a contact sport, the challenge actually is outside the box, and then Wilson goes inside the box and wins the penalty. Don't get me wrong, I'll take it. Things will go for you and things will go against you. But I'm an honest fan, and I'll say it from what I watched. We were very lucky to get that penalty. Graham Scott had to go and look at the TV screen. And if you're a Fulham fan watching, you've got a right to be miffed off. You've got every right to be frustrated because, for me, yes, it's a definite red card. You deserve to be down to 10 men. But for me, looking at it, it looks more like a free kick the more you watch it back. However, Wilson gets his 8th goal of the season. But that doesn't sum up the whole game. This was a must-win game for Steve Bruce tonight. The Leeds United game was shocking if you watch that 5-2 defeat. Fulham and Brentford were 2 must-win games. Tonight was huge. If you look at our next 3 Premier League fixtures, we're away to Manchester City on Boxing Day. Then we've got Liverpool at home, followed by Leicester at home. And I don't think we'll get many points out of them, if not any at all. So Fulham, for me, was a must-win game. We're at home against a struggling side who, yes, have been improving as of late. And let's be honest, they've shown us up tonight. They really have. I mean, Steve Bruce made some changes. We went 4-4-2. But again, was it 4-4-2 or was it the fake 4-4-2, 5 at the back? Well, from what I watched, that looked like a fake 5 at the back. That's what that looked like. Because, for me, Fulham dominated us in possession. We're meant to be the home side. Fulham controlled the game. From the shots on target, I believe it was 4 each. And we had similar shots off target. But Fulham had the better of the opportunities, the better of the game. You know, they were having the better of the set pieces. They were pretty much owning us tonight. Fulham, right, for me, should have walked away with all 3 points. I've seen fuck all improvement under this dinosaur of a manager called Steve Bruce. I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. And for a game which we should be looking to get 3 points in, well, unfortunately, we haven't. We've come out with only a point. And let's be honest, we're lucky to have got that. Very, very lucky. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, fair play. But look back at the game. That was shocking. The first half alone was awful. Awful. That was really, really bad. Fulham from the get-go were in our faces, putting us under pressure. We didn't have a clue what we were doing. We are badly unorganised, and that's all down to Steve Bruce. He doesn't have a clue, man. Honestly. Fulham were having the freedom of St James's Park to do what they wanted to do. And throughout the whole first half, for their hard work, for them actually getting forward and having a go and not just sitting back, they got their reward. You know, for a goal which, okay, was unfortunate for Matt Ritchie to put in the back of his own net. But Fulham got the look that they deserved. You know, they took the lead on 42 minutes. The ball comes in from a corner, from a set piece, and we don't clear it. And somehow, there's plenty of tuned bodies in the box around the Gallagher. And there you go. Fulham find themselves 1-0 up. And it's nothing more than they deserve. That first half alone was their half. They were absolutely fantastic. Second half, I was expecting a little bit more from us. Again, very slow, very unorganised, nothing really happening. And Fulham, okay, at times they did sit back. They were maybe looking to try and see out the 1-0 lead or hit us on their counter-attack. But listen, it's not up to Fulham to get at us. It's up to us to get at Fulham. We are the home side. This is a struggling side. And second half, again, it wasn't much better. I mean, we're too wasteful in the game, man. And it took a controversial penalty for us to get back into the game on 64 minutes. I mean, the initial contact happened around the 60th minute. It had to go to VAR. I mean, the red card is a definite red card, but in my honest opinion, it doesn't look like a penalty. It looks like Wilson's actually sort of pushed his way through into the box and bought that penalty. But I'm not going to complain. He tapped, he put it in. That's his 8th goal of the season. 1-1. Again, should have kicked on. We didn't. Again, all too slow, all lethargic. Substitutions, again, I mean, they're all questionable, all too late. And Fulham, they could have nicked it right at the end. And when you look at the whole game, there was not much that was going on in terms of a Newcastle point of view. It was pretty much all of Fulham's game. And had I been a Fulham fan watching that game, I would be well and truly miffed off that you've not walked away with 3 points. And I'm being brutally honest as a Newcastle fan. Again, the performances are getting worse and worse and worse. Steve Bruce is finished at this football club. Steve Bruce is finished. The board need to understand that. We are never going to progress unless we have a manager that knows what he's doing. He's playing players out of position and the players don't look comfortable. They don't look comfortable in what they're getting asked to do. I mean, we've got such a good side. We've got some very good, talented players. But Steve Bruce is not the man to get the best out of them. We need a younger coach who is hungry. You look at a manager like Scott Parker tonight, who is very, very hungry to succeed. And you can see the philosophy of Fulham, the way they're playing tonight, though. They've got an identity. The previous match against Leeds United, Marcelo Bielsa, he's got a game plan. Steve Bruce, there's just nothing there. It's just hit and hope for the best. And tonight, honestly, right, we did not deserve to win that game. I don't care what anyone says. That's my opinion, and it's going to stand. And these performances are telling the world what us Toon fans are crying out for. A new manager, because the performances are just not up to scratch. And the game itself, honestly, it was one of the most boringest games I think I've watched. It was pretty much a bore fest. If you remember the Fulham game from 2018 under Rafa Benitez, that was a snowfest. That one was up there with it. And the only worst thing is, we were 1-0 down for a lot of that game. And it took that controversial penalty to get us back into the game. Without that, for me, we would have deservedly have lost that game and I wouldn't have complained. I'm happy, or should I be happy that we've got a point? I'm more relieved that we've got a point. But it's still embarrassing, though, that we're not getting 3 points against the likes of Fulham. And yes, it sounds a bit disrespectful towards Fulham for your performance, but if you look at the fixture as a whole, we should be winning these type of games at home. And we've been awful at home under Steve Bruce, with and without the fans. And this is meant to be your bread and butter type of games, and we're making it so difficult for ourselves. And it's really, really frustrating. And this is why I don't want Steve Bruce at this football club, because the football is so tiresome to watch. There's just nothing there. There really isn't anything there. And honestly, I felt like switching off the minute we got the equaliser because nothing else happened. Honestly, I feel so bad for Fulham. I feel so bad for their fan base because they deserved something from that game. At least all 3 points. They deserved at least all 3 points. And they'll be kicking themselves the way in which the goal was given against them, for that pen which was scored. But listen, I'll take it. It is borderline, I will say that. But the more I look at it, it does look like it's a free kick and a red card to Fulham. It's a definite red card because when we go through, when Almiron puts that ball into Callum Wilson, he is clear, he is a last man. And yeah, from where the contact was, I'm going to have to rewatch it again on Match of the Day, but I'm certain it does look like the contact was actually outside the box. And that's why VAR is in the game to crack down on these type of sort of moves. And when you look back at it, and I'll be honest, and I am an honest person, it looked more like a free kick to Newcastle rather than a penalty. But there you go. You will get decisions that go for and against you, and it has gone for us. But I have to be honest, if the shoe was on the other foot, I wouldn't be happy. And I'm not happy, with the point tonight, because this was a chance where the lads should have went out and, delivered after that disappointing 5-2 defeat to Leeds. And I haven't seen any improvement. I've seen fuck all improvement. Honestly, I've seen nothing to suggest that we're moving forwards. And the proof is in the pudding. There's just nothing there. And honestly, the game was pretty boring. I'm not going to lie. 1-1. We're going to be last on match of the day. There's no question about it. Fulham are improving. And you've seen that tonight. But for us, it just feels like we're getting worse and worse and worse and worse. There's just nothing there. And the only positive you can take is that Callum Wilson scored. He got his 8th goal of the season. But that's about it. That is about it. And I'm sick of the excuses. I don't want Steve Bruce to come out and say that we played well tonight because we didn't. I'm sick of hearing it. He needs now to own up to when the performances just aren't up for scratch, because that, again, wasn't up to scratch. That's not how we should be playing at home. We should be the side that should be having the most possession, creating the chances, having the shots on target, being the threat. Unfortunately, tonight, it was Fulham were more of the threat. And there's no excuse of, we had a game on Wednesday. Well, so did Fulham. It doesn't make any difference. These are Premier League footballers and they're just getting bruised by Steve Bruce. This Bruce ball, honestly, it's crap. There's just nothing about it. There's nothing good about it. And I'm sick of, you're going to draw the Rafa comparison. Yeah, I can. Because at least his football was more clear and evident. At least he knew exactly what he was doing. He had a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Bruce doesn't have that, unfortunately. And I'm really, really frustrated. You can see how Leeds are improving. There's a lot of clubs improving. We are going backwards. Big time. Big time. Wilson, ESM, Almiron, they are never ever going to improve while Steve Bruce is at this football club. Let's make that clear. They're not going to improve. And what's that point given us today? Was it 12th place? Well, that's going to change, isn't it? But it is concerning. It really is. 8 points off the drop. Look at our next 3 games. If we lose all 3, we're going to be cut up pretty much. Or we're going to be at least a couple of points better off. Because a lot can change in this league. And a lot of the teams at the bottom are actually getting better. Like Fulham. West Brom are picking up points. Burnley are picking up points. They're starting to fight, man. Starting to fight. And if it wasn't for the goals at pretty much the start of the season, we'd be down there. We're starting to get found out. This is the thing. And honestly, Steve Bruce needs to do the right thing. For the sake of this club, for the sake of the fan base, and just fuck off. Resign. Just say your time's done. Your football is totally outdated, man. You're finished. As far as I'm concerned, you're on borrowed time. If I was the owner, you'd been gone months ago. You're finished. Honestly. Yes, Mike Ashley's a bigger problem. I get that. But if you look at the football inside, this fan base deserves so much better on the pitch. You know what I mean? We deserve so much better. I'm not demanding, top 7 or top 4. That's later on down the line with a better ownership. But in the current situation, this club should be trying to compete in the top 10 at the very least. But right now, like I mentioned, the players that we have are decent players on paper, but they can't improve with Steve Bruce as the manager, man. 4-4-2, my arse. It looks more 5 at the back. Fake 4-4-2, 5 at the back. That's what it is. Honestly, Steve Bruce needs to go. He really does need to go. He'd probably get the Brentford game. If we go out the cup to Brentford, right, I'm sorry to say, but our season's finished as far as I'm concerned. It's done. Because the Arsenal game, yeah, it could go either way. Arsenal aren't having a good start to the season, but traditionally we haven't got a good record down at the Emirates. And if we get put out the League Cup, right, what else have we got to fight for? Mid-table? Yeah, exactly. The boring, old, predictable stuff from Mike Ashley and co. This is it. There's just nothing to look forward to. And that's why the quicker this takeover happens, the better. Whoever is going to take over the club, the Saudis or whoever, somebody seriously put an offer in. Bring someone in who's going to invest in this football club for the future and get rid of Steve Bruce. Get rid of the backroom staff. Get rid of all the deadwood as well in the January that aren't good enough. There's players at this club that aren't good enough to play for this club. But unfortunately, we've got so many problems in the background, man. And the thing is, right, I'm not just complaining because of the results. I'm complaining about the bigger picture as well. I'm just getting sick. I'm getting so tired of watching this team. The same old boring, predictable football, man. It's getting beyond a joke. I wasn't even confident going into this game. I said 2-1 to be some sort of optimistic. You know, being a Newcastle fan who's passionate, who wants to see the club do well regardless on and off the pitch. Well, off the pitch, it's always bad. But on the pitch now, it's even worse. Fulham, man. New lows every week. Leeds, 5-2. Don't get me wrong, good side. But still should be competing with Leeds. We can't even compete with Leeds, man. We can't even compete with Fulham anymore. We can't even compete with Fulham. Come on, man. We can't even compete with Fulham. I mean, yeah, fair play. They get a 1-1 draw, but we've got to do better against clubs like Fulham. I mean, West Brom last week was shite. I mean, we were lucky to beat West Brom. Right? West Brom, if they had a bit of quality up front, they would have actually beaten us. Honestly, they should have walked out with St James's Park, West Brom, with at least a point, if not all three. We weren't even any good in that game, man. We haven't been good in ages. And this is what I'm saying. Steve Bruce is not the right manager for this football club. His tactics, his managerial now belongs in the Championship, man. Honestly, it's crap. I'm sick of it. Sick of it. Honestly, I'm so angry because the thing is, the board know exactly what's going on. How can they accept this football, man? This club deserves so much better. And we're not. We're just getting served up crap each and every week. It's predictable. You know exactly what's going on. I know what's going on. You Geordies know exactly what's going on. But the bigger picture is Mike Ashley, and he won't change it, man. I just hope that things do improve, but if it doesn't, I don't want a repeat of Steve McLaren 2.0 at 15-16 season where, you know, if we end up sinking like a train or sinking like a ship, whatever, we go down the bottom end of the league, right? This time there's no way out. If we go down, there's no way out. Simple as that. We've got good players, but we'll end up letting them go, man, because they want to go past us new. Or honestly, I've got nothing more to say about the game apart from I thought Fulham, you know, deserved something from it. If not all 3 points, I'll put my hands up and say we played awful. We played absolutely awful, and nothing's improved. And I am still Steve Bruce. I want him out the door. Do you know what? I'd be glad, right, if he left tonight. Honestly, I'd be glad if he resigned tonight. Or if he resigned tomorrow or Monday. He doesn't deserve the Brentford game, but he probably will get the Brentford game. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get beat off a very good Brentford side. Honestly, I do fear now that it's getting more toxic each and every weekend. Or each and every match that we play because nothing's improving. But sorry if there's any Fulham fans watching this right now that you've had to hear this rant, but this is a passionate Newcastle fan. You know, I love the club to bits, but I'm open and honest for what I've watched. We did not play very well, and we did not deserve anything from the game, but we did. And because obviously you make mistakes, you know, we managed to get something out of it. But I'll be honest, if we walked away with nothing, I wouldn't be complaining. But it's a good point for Fulham on the road. Nevertheless, they can build on that. But for us, come on, man, a point against Fulham. The players need to look at themselves. Steve Bruce needs to look at himself. But anyway, full time from St James's Park. Newcastle United won. Fulham won. And I've got nothing more else to say about it apart from it was dull, boring, predictable as per usual. Steve Bruce is finished and should resign. Or Mike Ashley should sack him. He's absolutely useless. Anyway, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe. Hit the like button, share it with your friends and family. Follow me on social media, Toonami TV, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Stay safe. How are the lads?